Most sports games teach you which buttons to press, but the really good ones teach you how the sport thinks. And after playing a lot of Undisputed recently, I think that's the reason I've enjoyed it as much as I have. On paper, this is the boxing game people have been waiting more than a decade for. A large roster of current fighters and legends, a career mode, online competition, and a serious attempt to recreate the movement and tactics of actual boxing. But is it genuinely worth playing, or are boxing fans simply grateful that someone's finally made another boxing game after all this time? Honestly, I think it is worth playing, although it took me a little while to understand why. Because Undisputed is at its best when you stop treating it like a fighting game and you start treating it like a sport. You simply just cannot march forward throwing enormous punches and expect everything to work, because distance matters, footwork matters, stamina matters, and sometimes the most important punch is the one that you decide not to throw. If you're someone like me whose reflexes aren't quite what they used to be, who used to be into things like Street Fighter, then it is nice to have a modern fighting game where what you think is almost more important than how fast you can push the buttons. And strangely enough, that's where it reminds me of lawn bowls. Not because lawn bowls regularly ends with some sort of big punch up, obviously, at least not at my club, but because both sports are built around line, weight, and positioning. In bowls, you're constantly asking where an object will finish rather than simply where it starts. Undisputed creates a similar calculation. Where's your opponent moving, what angle are they leaving open, and are you controlling the space or are they quietly leading you somewhere dangerous? It's the same basic sporting language you find in football, golf, darts or tennis, just create an opportunity, disguise your intention and then execute at the right moment. That tactical side gives the boxers an identity beyond their character models as well. A quick outside fighter asks for something different of you than a powerful heavyweight does, and changing fighters can mean changing your entire approach rather than simply selecting a different costume. The developers advertise more than 60 individual punches, directional attacks, feints, defensive movement and boxer-specific traits, and you can feel that ambition when a fight settles into a proper rhythm rather than just becoming a chaotic exchange. Of course, Undisputed's not quite a flawless champion. The career mode can feel functional rather than dramatic, and it doesn't have anything as memorable as a story-driven Fight Night champion. The presentation often repeats itself, and there are moments when an animation or exchange just doesn't look quite as convincing as the game around it. And that Fight Night comparison is unavoidable. Whereas Punch-Out made boxing feel like a puzzle, Ready to Rumble turned it into an arcade show, and the Fight Night series made every punch feel like a physical event, Fight Night Champion added a cinematic story that Undisputed just cannot really match. But Undisputed does give me something slightly different, and that's the feeling that I'm learning a sporting system. I'm watching movement, managing energy, making adjustments, and occasionally discovering that my brilliant tactical plan was actually just to walk directly into an uppercut. So is Undisputed worth playing? For me, yes. It still has rough edges, and anyone expecting Fight Night Champion with modern graphics might come away disappointed. But if you enjoy boxing, tactical sports games, or games that reward patience and observation, there is plenty here to like because it is a genuine contender. And apparently, all my favourite sports games are now coming down to the same three things. That's line, weight, and hope.